If you're a man over 30, you're in leadership, you've got a family at home, the way you've been sold fat loss and the best workout approach to fat loss, it's probably a complete lie. Probably been sold the dream that you need to go into a dark room with neon lights and fast-paced music, and you need to sweat gobs and pounds and buckets of sweat in order to drop body fat. You need to work out for 60 minutes. You need to earn your results. You need to be exhausted by the time you leave. The reality is, if you're doing HIIT classes like this 2, 3, 4 times a week, your energy is going to be in the tank. Your joints are going to be absolutely screaming at you. And that 30 pounds of body fat probably isn't moving. You're going to see a quick 5-10 pounds drop due to all the water weight that you're losing. But after that, nothing else is going to happen and nothing else in your body is going to change, except the fact that you're going to be less energetic and probably weaker as a result of losing muscle mass training this way. So my goal is to explain the physiological reason why this workout actually doesn't help you, especially if you already have some high stress things going on in the rest of your life, and why these HIIT style workouts are tanking your testosterone, spiking your cortisol, actually keeping you soft in the middle, even though you're putting in the work. And then more importantly, I'm going to show you the exact metabolic protocol you need to be utilizing in your training in order to build the physique and the health and the performance that you're looking for. First off, my name is Montel Harden, personal trainer, strength conditioning, and sports nutrition coach since 2017. Over that time, we've worked with hundreds of men, helping them strip off body fat, tack on lean muscle, and improve their health markers and their longevity and their productivity and performance through getting their body in shape. I'd say maybe 50% of the guys that come to me that are actually working out are doing this HIIT style sort of workout either by themselves or in these classes, things like Orange Theory, F45, Iron Tribe, things like that. My client Jordan was actually training this way when we first started working together, and his progress plateaued and he was feeling worse than ever, even though he was training 4 or 5 days a week. So when we started working together, we put together the metabolic system that he needed in order to get his body and health where he wanted it to be. And we're now down 30 pounds of body fat, added on multiple pounds of lean muscle, and he's stronger than ever, working out less than an hour a day, 3 to 4 days a week. So first off, you got to understand the dichotomy of cortisol and testosterone. Our body doesn't really understand the difference between the stress of somebody breaking in your house, or getting ready for a big board meeting, or going through a crazy high intense workout. We understand it from a mental and knowledge perspective, but the way that your body responds to all 3 of those scenarios is exactly the same. If you have a demanding job, if you have kids at home, especially if they're younger, chances are your life is probably full of stress already. And stress isn't just a bad thing. There's, good stress that comes with having a thriving career. There's good stress that comes with the logistics of, being married to the woman of your dreams and having the kids you've always wanted. Like, it's not just negative, but it is still stress. It is still bandwidth. It is still things that are taking our mental energy and sometimes even physical energy, and of course our time. So your stress bucket is probably already close to full on a daily basis anyway. And what those HIIT workouts do is just go ahead and take it all the way over the top, and it signals to our body to create more and more cortisol. Anytime cortisol goes up, testosterone goes down. This is evolutionary. If you are in periods of, say long time ago, hunter-gatherer tribe, if you're in periods of famine or severe danger, then your body basically turns off all desire to reproduce. Like, our goal, our body's main purpose is to keep our heart beating, to get us more food, and to reproduce. Like, those are pretty much the only 3 things that our body really cares about. And everything else will be partitioned in order to facilitate those actions. As soon as your stress gets high, your body says, okay, we need to store up fat in order to survive this famine. We need to keep our stress and adrenaline and anxiety and fear and cautiousness on high alert in case there's a predator or some sort of danger around. And we need to completely down throttle testosterone, libido, sex drive, all of that, so that we're not worried about reproducing right now, because it is very dangerous times for us to be bringing a kid into the world. Literally how the body operates and how it thinks. And that sounds so disconnected from the life that we live today, but you can see it in your body. You can see it in that's why the more out of shape you get, the lower your libido gets, the lower your drive gets, the lower your motivation gets, the more anxious you become, the more stressed you become, the more, tired but wired you become, is because your body still is operating on very, 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 very old software in a new modern world that we really haven't caught up to yet. The thing about these, high intensity HIIT classes, it's not like there's no place for them. I think it's good to every once in a while be able to really push yourself and see what you're capable of from just a pure metabolic conditioning perspective. But that's supposed to be a one-off. I liken it to if you've ever played football or basketball, you don't max out every single week, or at least you're not supposed to. If you've got a decent strength and conditioning program in place, especially if you played in college, then I'm sure you don't max out every week. You might max out maybe monthly, quarterly, sometimes even once or twice a year, most likely. So you don't max out all the time from a strength perspective. Why are you maxing out 3-4 times a week from a conditioning perspective? Spending 45 minutes a day at your little red zone metabolically is going to create systemic inflammation. It's going to create a consistent and steady spike of cortisol that will prevent your body from losing that body fat. It will upregulate your hunger so that you go and get more food, downregulates your satiety signal so that when you do go get that food, you can't really turn it off. Now you're binging, and I'm sure you've experienced this before. You go and do this crazy intense HIIT workout, and then you just eat everything in sight and you basically just wash it out. You're also going to be dealing with high levels of brain fog. Your nervous system is just fried because of how intense your workouts were, especially if you're doing them first thing in the morning, and you're just not really going to have any brain power left, which is extremely, extremely important if you're actually doing a lot of brain work for what you do, which most of the guys that I work with are in more corporate positions or business owners and things like that, where you have to do a lot of thinking and a lot of strategizing and a lot of creative work and a lot of people management. And the worst scenario to be doing this in is in this fight or flight, low energy, high adrenaline situation. So if you actually want to get the stubborn body fat off and keep it off while increasing your energy, increasing your drive, increasing your libido, decreasing your anxiety, then you need to focus on building up your body metabolically and not tearing it down calorically. Because that's when you go to these HIIT classes, you get the little bands and all that stuff, or you have your Apple Watch. Everybody's just focused on how many calories they're burning or how much they moved or whatever. None of that is relevant if you're talking about improving your physique and improving your overall health. So the first thing you want to do to get your body metabolically healthy is to reduce the frequency of your training, but increase the load and strength demands. You want to send as many signals to your body to keep lean muscle tissue as possible. One of the biggest reasons for this is because, once again, evolutionarily, if you were able to maintain lean muscle tissue, that means that food is in abundance. That means that danger and predators are scarce or nowhere to be found. That means that you're able to get good sleep and adequate rest. And it's a signal of youth and vitality. Who are the most muscular, strongest people around? They're teenagers and early 20-somethings. Professional athletes pretty much all top out around right before 30 or so. And they typically are going to be the most muscular with the least amount of body fat. So if you can get your body to that place, it's a signal to the body for vitality. Now, what does vitality mean? That means high energy. That means high sex drive and libido. That means motivation. That means movement. That means maintaining a certain level of leanness. You want to keep the signals that are telling your body to stay young and youthful. You want to keep those signals going, and building and preserving lean muscle tissue is the best way to make that happen. And then prioritize zone 2, zone 3 cardio over zone 5 cardio. Zone 2 can be done with a brisk walk, a light run, pickleball, tennis. Zone 3 with basketball, something like that. Like, you don't have to go at this breakneck pace for 45 to 60 minutes and completely redline 3 or 4 times a week just to get your body in shape. You just want to have enough of a stimulus, enough work on your heart to improve your overall heart health, but you don't have to go overboard. There's a law of diminishing returns as you get out of that zone 3 and you head into zone 4, and then especially zone 5. You do not want to be in that state for hours and hours every single week. And our goal is just to focus you in on the effective minimum dose. You've got your job, you've got your kids, you've got your wife, you've got your extended family, you've got your friends, you've got your own personal hobbies. Like, you got so many different things in life that you want to juggle. The last thing we need you to do is start becoming a bodybuilder that's obsessed with being in the gym for 2 hours a day and meal prepping everybody the food he eats. Like, your health and fitness regimen should simply be a supplement to the rest of your life. It should be an add-on, an enhancement to everything else that you're already doing in your life. You shouldn't feel forced to basically uproot everything. You can't go on a date night with your wife now because that restaurant's not good for you. Or you can't go out with the guys if, you know, some of your friends are hanging out or watching the playoffs or whatever it is, you know, after work. You can't go because you got to go to the gym for the 6th time this week. I'm not saying that you shouldn't prioritize getting those workouts in, or you shouldn't prioritize healthy foods, but if you understand how to get the most bang for your buck, you realize that only 3 or 4 of your days need to be occupied with working out and exercising, as opposed to 6 or 7 that you've been feeling like, because that's the only way you can get results with these high intensity, fast paced HIIT workouts that aren't actually changing your body. Look, I get it. This is one of the hardest things to explain to guys, because in pretty much every other endeavor of your life, working harder has gotten you where you wanted to be. If you wanted good grades, you studied more. If you wanted a promotion, you stayed more hours, you made more calls, you worked on more projects, you collaborated with more people. Like, the answer in your life has always been more, volume, but our body does not respond to that. There is a law of diminishing returns, and it actually goes off a cliff. Like, you have this initial stage where you're flat. If you're not doing anything, of course, you're not going to see progress. And then the more you do, the more progress you see, but then it almost goes immediately on the other end where you're, again, not seeing results no matter how much you're doing. And I don't want that for you. I think as we age, we learn to work smarter and not harder at our careers, at our marriages, with our kids. Like, you learn that sometimes things need nuance. Some things need a softer touch. Some things need targeted focus, as opposed to just brute force and just hitting the wall again and again and again. You need to really be strategic with it. So I want you to start implementing that in your body, in your health, in your fitness as well. Like I said earlier, I've helped hundreds of men, specifically in leadership roles, lose 30 pounds of body fat, build up lean muscle tissue, improve their health markers across the board, improve their quality of life across the board, all with our metabolic method. If you're ready to stop guessing and you want a targeted roadmap to getting your body in health where you need it to be, click the link somewhere down below and take our metabolic assessment. It's going to give me the full scope of everything that you've been doing, what you've been dealing with, where your physique is currently, what your goals are, and then I'm going to send you back a complete game plan that walks through, if you were my private client, what exactly we would do to help you get to where you need to be. And you can either take that game plan and run with it, or you can hire me to help you implement it. But either way, get the game plan that you need down below. Stop guessing, stop piecing together from Instagram or from social media or from bodybuilder.com or from the random magazine at the checkout lane and Publix what you need to be doing. Figure out what specifically is going to work for you, your body, and your goals down below, and then start executing that. And that's where everything is going to start to make sense for you. You're going to finally get your body in health in order. So that's it. That's all. If you got value from this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and then send this to another guy that you know has been working hard. He's been putting in the work, but he hasn't seen the outcomes he's wanted. Send this to him. Make sure that he checks it out, because I think that it's going to be exactly what he needs to make the shift from working hard to working smart. See you in the next one. Peace.